the big, quiet type moves right past you guys and starts walking towards the door. And he beckons you all to follow, but he doesn't seem too concerned to check to see if you actually are.
All right, I'll follow.
Yeah,
After taking a last glance towards Targan.
I got a slow ambling gait. I'm going to pitch a thin ghost sound whisper directly inside my robe where Mika is, and that whisper will be, "Hope you got all that, because if they're still there, I will kill them."
Mika, actually, the only sound you hear from that is the sound of silent sobbing. And what might be throwing up. Which you hope not, because that'd probably be rather unpleasant. At least I hope
fairy
not.
puking.
Yeah.
Jared shrugs, shrugs the thought. Probably made out like magic pixie dust or something. He doesn't know exactly how fairy anatomy works. It might be an interesting study.
After a few seconds, though, you hear in your thoughts from you can assume Mika, how am I supposed to do anything when we don't know what house it's at?
Jarek will then pitch another whisper inside his robe and says, "Use your telepathy. Lady Celine might know. The guards will have to keep a lookout and perhaps misdirect this individual."
You get an impression in your mind of, will do, try kind of thing. And then, so I'm not going to go move you guys all the way back to the city, but basically you enter the night. I assume you're following Uvik. I don't know how. You guys don't have to follow too close. He's never even looked back to make sure you're following at all, so you can follow as close or far away as you want.
Then he's a very difficult individual to miss, especially with it being as dark. At the night, there's not going to be many walkers around, and he cuts a rather striking pose in the night.
Yes, he does.
Pearson will say to Uvik, to the man I hope I call brother, I do not wish to question your methods, but are you truly not afraid of the guard? Will they not draw attention to us? I know a few back alleys we can take instead.
Uvik looks at you quietly and says very shortly and curtly, "Not necessary. Follow me."
Okay.
Cole will note how out of the way we're moving. If there's back alleys or we're just taking main streets or just side streets.
You're taking kind of a mix of both. It doesn't look like he's spending a whole lot of time leading you down back alleys. But he is
he's really disregarding us, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Could we lag behind a little bit and whisper and he just won't give a shit, he'll just keep on going?
You could actually lag behind enough to whisper to each other. He probably wouldn't care here. Honestly, you get the impression he doesn't care if you're there when he gets there.
Okay. Alright, so during one of these lag behind moments, a chance for us to quickly confer, Pearson will suggest, I have no intention in killing a woman and a daughter. It'd be nice to misdirect and delay this man, but when push comes to shove, we might have to kill him and tell this brother Seafeed that we felt that this was a greater sacrifice than two innocent people. We'll make it really brutal, too, if it makes you feel any better.
Jarek cocks his head and says, "We might be unable to retrieve the crystal."
There's art. We'll think of something. If there was no target, though. Wait. Shit, we don't know where we're going. Hey, out of curiosity, can I use my Forged on the Streets ability to get at least a general idea of where we're going?
Sadly, no, simply because there are so many widows in this town that you would have no idea.
Fuck.
And he hasn't said anything about how far or close or you're just walking, so.
Okay. All right. And Pearson nods and says, we might have to improvise, but it has to be the last option of many. And he'll quickly catch up.
After a few minutes, and by the way, you guys, you'll be walking for about 20 minutes, so you have plenty of time to do any conversations you need to.
Okay,
after a few minutes, Jarek, you will hear Mika in your mind say that that she talked to Trip, and Trip talked to Lady Celine, and Lady Celine is standing by to do whatever she can, but the problem is, without knowing a house or where we are or where they're going, there's nothing she can do.
Jarek shrugs, which can definitely be felt in those side of the rooms, and then whispers,
"Well, we'll see if we can find any landmarks."
And with that in mind, Jarek will suppose, since we're navigating through the streets here, keep an eye out for landmarks to call as we're navigating from the tavern to whatever possible location we're going to. I'll at least be able to get a sense of what area of the city.
Yeah, you guys, and especially Pearson and Keen, those of you who have been in the city for a while, you know where you are. The tricky part is you have no idea where you're going. So you can at least keep track of where you are. And you know the city well enough to know that whenever you do arrive at your destination, you'll have a good idea of where you are in the city.
And Jarek will whisper,
"Lady Celine is standing by, Collimore. It's not like I know where we are, though."
It's true. And I'll be able to lag behind and say again and says, maybe they don't need to know a specific area. Maybe they can flood this entire region with as many soldiers and might make this guy rethink his approach. Just scattershot him.
Or something like a magical effect, since Lady Celine is so powerful that if she can confuse or perhaps give this delay, maybe the target will change.
Yeah, exactly.
Jarek will look down the rope and say,
"Try suggesting that through Trip. Does she have like a magical flair to befuddle the damn guy?"
A few minutes later, Mika's mind, a voice comes back in your mind again. Lady Celine advises against anything like that. If anything were to happen that made it look like some outside force or the guard or even herself were to interfere with this somehow, the cult would go to ground. She said whatever's going to happen, you guys are going to have to find a solution. She'll provide any support she can, but any outside interference is going to make the cult suspicious.
Useless. I should have stayed in Coalhaven.
Yeah. All right. Is it whisper only to Jarek of the ferry? Yeah.
Jarek will convey how useless the lady of this city is, and throw in a side comment about how he should have stayed in Coalhaven because that kingdom made far more sense.
Yeah. Cullimore nods his head and he goes, "Yeah, we're in a gilded cage, and she's fine with innocent blood on her hands. Lady Celine is no protector. She has power like everyone else."
After another minute, Mika's voice comes back in your mind. She does say that she might be able to get you a finger. I'm not quite sure what that means, but she might be able to get you a finger that would work if you can get the ring and somehow convince them. And she can also tell the guard to act like there's a murder. But that's all she can do. That's all she can promise.
Jarek mutters and says,
"Well, Cullimore, you're the best at fake killing. I can't exactly do that, and you have a hands-on approach to the affair. Maybe if we can distract Big, Tall, and Swarthy, we might be able to get something done."
Yeah. At the very least, I can make sure they're not dead. It'll be tough, but I think I might be able to do that.
All right.
Okay.
Basically, just let me know when you guys want to end the conversation. After you're done, you'll be walking for about another 10 minutes before something happens. So talk as much as you need to, and just let me know when you're done.
I hate the city.
Mm-hmm.
Would it help the lady if she knew where we were?
Well, I imagine it might be of some use, but outside help will make this cult vanish into the Netherwind. And if, considering how stupendously secretive and amazingly powerful this cult is, I imagine they have agents of their own operating within the Whitebridge law enforcement, so they probably have a great sense of how they operate and what their patrols are.
You get an impression in your mind from Mika, a very fear-filled one, of they knew Tarkin.
Pearson will suggest that we ambush and kill this Ulrich and then make it look like we killed the others. If we come back successful in what he wants, we can wiggle out and just say that we felt that more... Pearson can pretty much say he wants Ulrich's spot, so the best way he thought he could do that was by eliminating Ulrich as well as doing what they were told, you know what I mean? So it's not like they're disregarding it, they're just doing a bonus thing to earn this guy's favor.
That might actually work.
Another possible suggestion. What if we kill him and offer no explanation? He just walked away. Who are we to question?
True, he just seems like a very loyal servant.
Yeah, that would be...
Then he might come back on his own time. It's not as if we, possible recruits, fearful of this mother and the cult, are going to say, wait, you can't just leave us here. Come back. And then follow after him.
Good point. Plus, I know a few other safe houses that the lady and her kid could stay at. And if we make a big mess with this big body, I'm sure the guards will talk about a bloodbath in this house.
One thing's for sure. I don't think we're ambushing him.
Nope. But we can still trick him.
You guys walk for about another 10 minutes, and he walks up to a very small, very poor-looking house and walks right in the door. I assume you guys follow?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, then I will move you all to there.
Okay.
In this house, as you can see, very sparsely furnished. There's 2 beds, a table, some clutter, and it's basically a very, very poor house. And inside you see a very startled woman that looks to be in her 40s, early 40s, and a son that looks to be about 12 or 13. And the son is actually standing in front of his mom, scared, but still at least standing in front of her. I should probably move him to do such a thing. And she's in the process of asking Ulrich, what do you want? And you guys can position yourselves however you would like.
Okay. Well, Pearson's going to want to take a bit of a head here. Okay.
And
I'll move to about here.
I was going to say, actually, once you guys get in, Ulrich, surprisingly, nods to you guys and then stands over here in the corner. And silently, just stands there, folds his arms, and looks at you.
Okay. All right. Let's keep up the ruse then. Pearson, still covered in blood and with a fiendish smile on his face, marches right up to the boy here. And he's going to try and grab him up by the scruff, not quite by the neck, but by his shirt or something to kind of lift him up. And he's going to look at the kid, and he's going to look at the wife, the mother, and he's going to try to grab the mother's neck as well. So hold up the kid by the scruff, the mother by the neck, and he's going to say, someone's going to die here tonight. It's going to get bloody. And he's going to start pushing them towards the beds.
You feel a warm liquid running down the kid's pants. And the mother starts shrieking. I assume you're pushing them, yes?
Yep. Oh, yes, I'm pushing them. And Pearson will just laugh and go, scream, make as much noise as you want. It won't save you. Call for help. And he's still going to push them towards the bed. And actually, yeah, he's going to push them towards the bed, and he's going to throw the kid so he kind of tumbles over the bed and onto the other side of it. And he's going to push the mother onto the bed as well. And Pearson's going to take his knife, and he's going to kind of drive it down right by her head and cut all the fabric around her head while she's screaming in terror. And and
You're telling us a story. I like
oh
it.
no,
Yeah,
I don't
keep
want to
going.
tell any more story. Oh God! All right, and Pearson's
will
going to. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Teleport over here and grab the kid and push him into the floor.
Okay. And
they're screaming bloody murder, and the kid is basically saying over and over, "Don't hurt my mom! Don't hurt my mom!"
all right.
Finn will lean down and just whisper, "Everything's gonna be okay."
Okay.
Keen is going to take the chair and sit right next to the door
Okay.
on the chair to make sure that it doesn't open.
All right. Cover.
Jarek will begin unwrapping his right arm.
All right,
It's a very slow process. Takes a lot
Seller's
of while.
staying by the door with Keen, kind of trying his best not to look horrified by all of this. Pacifists and all.
Yeah. Pearson's gonna just wave the knife in front of her face and it says, "I'm supposed to make things painful. Let's make things very, very painful instead." And with that, he's going to push her off to the other side of the bed. And in a quick flourish, he's going to stand up, turn around, and throw the knife at Ulvik.
Finn will protectively hunch over the son and the mother.
All right, everyone, roll for initiative.
Before we start combat, can I roll damage for my dagger?
Roll to hit your dagger.
Oh boy. No, I think I'm gonna miss him. My handle will probably hit his chest.
Old man Riverwalk Color.
No, actually, he just kind of, even though he's surprised and not sure what's going on, he reflectively kind of leans to the side and it misses. So, Cole, you get a free turn.
I feel a bit eager. I'm going to use my bracers.
Oh, goody. At your fingertips appears a table. A wooden table.
I get another table.
2 tables.
So, table's going to be... The newly made table is going to be flying at the dude.
Uh-huh. Well, no, it's not newly made, actually. It's just summoned from somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Newly here table.
Yes.
Will be now thrown at him. So the first one does 14 damage.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, you hit him. Well done.
14 damage of 12.
So 14 damage. All right.
And then I will then brace my other hand on the second table that is already here and going to launch it at him.
Okay.
There's gonna be wood everywhere in that corner.
No, we what we came here to do? We came here to flip some tables. Yeah,
Some tables. Unfortunately, that second table did not hit him. All right. Okay. Now it's Cole's turn.
Welcome to the city of pain. I'm going to go over to him and give him a good old bear hug.
Oh man, are you trying to throw him?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my god! You're crazy, man! You're crazy!
So he'd be a large object
I
then.
don't
Yeah,
like the
he's
concept of
he's
you
actually larger than you. So
How? Seriously?
Seriously.
Like, I'm supposed to be like the...
Squee mentioned that
yeah,
last week.
he is
wow.
Yeah,
huge.
he did.
He is a very big man.
So
It's like for
this
the
would be-
first time Cole actually assessed him when he walked up, like, oh, you look bigger up close.
Yeah, it's like
Huh.
Damn.
This cannot be allowed to stand.
God.
Cole does not say no to throws.
Okay, roll to what are you throwing him at?
Oh, what are these?
Those are like literally just wooden crates. They have some laundry, some clothing, some food, stuff like that. It's their shells, basically.
I'm gonna throw him at Yay Wall.
Okay. You pick him up successfully and you toss him at the wall, but he is heavier than you expected and he doesn't quite make it and he kind of bounces on the floor a little bit and comes back to his feet. But he did take 12 damage, so...
I'm gonna get up, take out my bow, and shoot his ass.
Shoot his ass.
Yes, it's going to be a very difficult
He's
shot.
going to ricochet it off the wall. Wow. Damn,
So
you guys
that
are
is
rolling really good.
that is above a natural 16. So he's going to be blind
That is
for the
very
next
true.
turn. He is going to have -4 to everything. And
Alright.
he is going to take 11 damage.
All right, Jarek is going to conjure a small hourglass of amethyst energy and twist it into an arc of dark lightning as he casts a chant of endings upon Ulvik. There's going to be 16 versus magic defense for 15 points of negative energy damage.
All right, that is enough to hit him.
Fuck you, Ulvik!
God.
Alpha strike! Is Ulvik staggered? How's he looking?
Yes, he's staggered.
Oh, he's triggered!
He's still up on his feet. He's not like he's not looking like he's keening over from death knell or anything, but he's
Keening
staggered.
over.
I didn't think he would be. I
Yeah.
was just curious about staggered and all.
Oh yes, he is
That's
staggered.
move action to be awesome and brush off the robe and in turn.
Seeing that he's blinded, Pearson's gonna do what Pearson does best. He's going to approach him. It's gonna qualify as a jab,
Okay.
so to speak. I'm going to start the Stonebridge Shuffle form. The jab, though, isn't really going to be a jab at his face as much as it is a jab at his balls.
Oh my God.
So we're gonna dirty fight him. I get a 16.
And
That is,
Oh, he's staggered though. I get a +2, so that makes it an 18.
that is still not enough to hit him.
Dang it. Okay.
All right. Question. So the magic ring that Lady Celine gave me to make me look creepy. If I pull it off, do I just look normal then, or what
Yes,
happens?
you just
Is
look
it
normal.
super easy to pull off?
Yeah,
Like-
you can slip it off and on as much as you want.
Okay, so he's gonna pull it off and like be like, "Hey guys, I'm really sorry about this, but you just need to hide and trust me on this. I'm a good guy." And then he puts it back on.
They look very confused and terrified.
Finnegan is still smothered in blood as well.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Well,
Even with
I
the
mean,
ring off.
but I look pretty.
Sure.
That should help.
Right.
Hey, I'm a pretty elf. Okay, and then he's gonna get up and pull out his weapon, and I guess if he can move to here to like protect them, that'd
Yeah.
be great.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay, and then he'll just wait.
A very confused and battered Ulvik finally roars in frustration and basically just pulls out a giant knife that was on his belt and slashes at Colomor. A 10.
Yay! That misses.
He misses. All right then. That is that. Now it is Seller's turn, but since no one is injured at all, Seller's just gonna kind of stay out of the way. The escalation die is now 1.
I'm going to shift here, and I'm going to take the splintered remains of the table, any particular larger chunks, but I'm going to count them as medium. The splintered large pieces of wood.
Yeah,
I'm
that would
going to
count
use
as that would count as a medium, sure.
Yeah. I'm going to start using as very sort of blunt and jagged javelins. That was even, so I get to throw again.
Yes, you missed the first one, but you get to throw again.
Alright.
Oh.
And
I
you
missed
again.
twice.
Okay, I'm just gonna try and do another shot. Boom!
Not enough to hit.
Not enough, and a critical fail on one of them. So, it's okay. I'm just gonna stay here.
Yep, just gonna keep being awesome.
That's 28 versus magic defense for 15 points of negative energy damage.
All right. Would you like to let us know just exactly how that killed him?
Oh shit.
Sure, there was a Jarek, he conjures up another one of these hourglasses and amethyst energy, and then like that, your end draws nigh. A streak of like amethyst energy shoots over Colomor's shoulder past his ear and flies into the still battered, blinded, confused, dazed tall man. Like his flesh begins to slough off his bones as he staggers backwards, then slumps down onto the floor, beginning to ooze and sort of meld with the wooden floor as his body sort of merges into it, the chemical fusion caused by the negative energy.
And with that, my level 5 giant of a man with 72 freaking hit points is absolutely had his ass handed to him.
Hooray! How do you like it?
This is what happens when Team PC can alpha strike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pearson is going to head over to the corner and pick up his knife and then he's going to go over to the body, and he's going to say, they mentioned spies before, and if we want to get these people out of here, I think we're going to need a distraction. I can provide it and meet you back at the tavern. And with that, he starts trying to saw the giant man's head off.
You might want to use his knife for that, Colomore. Looked a bit bigger.
True, but this little saw here, he kind of points to the back end of the blade, is really handy against rope. Turns out it's really good against vertebrae too, but I do like your style. And he picks up the other knife as well, and he just kind of double.
Treat like a steak.
At
Just
that,
Yeah.
At that, Jarek, you hear a very soft gagging in your pouch again.
Finn's just telling the two to keep their eyes closed. Just close your eyes. Just close your eyes. Don't look. Just don't look.
Calamore is going. Let me know when I'm done removing the head.
Yeah,
I'm going
you're done.
I'm going to bend over the bed and drop a gold piece and tell them that is for the table.
They're just wide-eyed in terror, looking at everything that's going on.
Finn just slowly turns his head towards Cole, staring.
All right.
Jarek will say aloud, he's like Mika,
Mika, when you get a moment to recover, would you inform your brother of this situation? We're going to need a way to get in contact with a member of the guard to acquire that finger. And maybe not the ring, we could perhaps...
and Jarek will rotate those cold eyes towards the woman.
We might borrow that.
About halfway through your sentence, Mika kind of bursts out of your pouch and tumbles to the floor, gagging and throwing up and generally not having a good time. But she kind of tries to nod her... have you ever seen someone vomiting and trying to nod at the same time? Just kind of imagine
I
that.
have now.
A fairy, no less.
Jarek gets it. He's a little put off, but he's seen a lot of horror, so he just gives Mika a cold, haughty stare.
As Pearson walks over, he leaves the severed head just on the ground by the body for now. He comes over, having even more blood on him than before, if that was possible. He, when he passes by, he heads towards Keen, and as he passes by, he tells the fairy it was either his blood or their blood. I don't regret the decision. And he heads over to Keen, and he said, one of Pearson Cullamore's safe houses that he used when he was hiding from the Stonebridge Kings. It's fair to assume that a couple of them are still operational. His family is in one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And since Keen also knows this city relatively well, and I would recognize him even beforehand as a shopkeep in the poor areas, I'd like for Cullamore to give him the address of where he can hide these kids for now. You can start heading north. I'm going to head south with the severed head and cause a distraction, not only for any sort of guards, but also for any spies who might be really wondering what's going on.
Okay.
Mika, after a few moments, opens her eyes, and she looks miserable, but she says, I don't think that'll be necessary. Lady Celine says the guards will arrive here in 2 hours. They won't bother you until then.
Good. Then we'll just distract the eyes then, and not the guards.
Jarek slants a brow.
We're going to need a way to get a finger of sufficient quality to match the woman's.
And Mika looks at you, and she again, looking very sick, but doing her best to stay with it, she says, Lady Celine has taken care of that. Trip's on his way.
Okay, well, the last part of this plan, before we start the distraction, is, well, Brother Seafeed wanted a brutal death. I'm afraid a headless one isn't going to do. If you don't like hearing the sounds of bone snapping, I suggest you close your ears. And with that, he's going to show everyone why he's called the Bone Splitter, and he's going to try to snap as many bones as this man's body as possible, leaving them in a disjointed mess.
Mika flutters over to Jarek and says, "Can we go outside, please?"
Jarek will nod. He actually has no interest in hearing that himself. He'll wave towards the pacifist to follow him as he walks out.
The pacifist follows you willingly. He's not a fan of this either.
All right.
Cole will
What
stay
should
with
we do?
Finn.
What should we do with them?
Cover their ears.
Oh
Yeah.
God. Okay, come on, guys.
The mother's going, "What? I don't understand. What's going on?"
There is a hit on you guys, on your family. Don't worry though. It's all taken care of now. We killed the person sort of who wanted you dead.
What?
Shit.
Just very high pitched. What?
There's an evil cult that likes to murder people. They wanted to murder you guys.
Snap.
But
Mhm.
but you're safe
You
now.
you don't appear to be calming her down at all.
Oh God. Finn just kind of puts his hand on his head, like it's been a long fucking day. He's been through some shit himself. He's trying to deal with, guys.
Cole is going to comfort Finn.
Don't comfort me, comfort them.
No.
Basically, you have been marked for death by the cult of Salage. So you have a choice. You can either come with us, and in a week, a month, however long it takes, you can return to your house and everything will be fine.
We're here on the behalf of Lady Celine.
Yes.
Lady Celine?
Yeah, we're here on behalf of her, Culmer says as he snaps the left wrist of the man.
Finn just slowly
man?
turns his head and stares at Cullimore.
He starts
and-
like, what?
And as something that seems to be developing into a theme this evening, the son throws up.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, better his guts. He spills his guts
Finn-
one way than the other.
Finn, cover his ears. Make sure he's facing away.
I'm working on that. Kind of
Thank
squeezes
you.
over and grabs the kid's head and just kind of is like, "I'm so sorry."
I'm going to sit next to the woman and not going to do anything until she asks anything. Because I already know people do not feel comfortable with me even coming close to them, let alone touching them.
She's looking around at everyone and she asks, why me? I don't have anything.
I think that might be the purpose of this particular attack.
But you said you're from Lady Celine, so she'll protect us, right?
She will. But first we have to deal with the cultist that's in the crumpled heap in the corner. And then we will take you to a safe house where you will reside for a while.
She basically crawls over to her son and then she's like, "What do we need to do?"
I need your ring. It will be returned to you.
She looks down at the ring and she says, take it. And she takes it off and hands it to you. It's a very simple, it's a steel ring. It's not even like a precious metal. Obviously, this was a very poor family, but it's well kept, even despite its low quality.
I'm going to hand her another gold piece.
She accepts it, but kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Without really acknowledging it, kind of like she's numbly. There we go. She accepts it numbly.
There you go.
Sensory overload.
Yes.
And while Cullimore's still working on them, I'm working on the crumpled heap. I'm going to gather both of the blankets together off the beds and put the blankets over both of them.
All right. By the way, Pearson, what are you doing with his garments and stuff? Are you removing them, searching them? Are you just kind of breaking bones through them?
It's the old thug days. I'll search them when I get to that point of his bodies for sure. I'll search and see what's on them.
All that you see on him are, of course, the sheath for the large knife, and a note on him, quickly scribed in a very elegant hand, but and you can read the note at your leisure. But basically,
go
ahead.
Well, what I was going to do is I'm going to just gingerly pick up the note because my hands are covered in blood and hand it over to perhaps Cole or Keen for them to read, just because I'm busy and I don't want to smear the writing with the blood on my hands.
I'll go over and take the note from him.
All right.
And start
Okay.
reading it.
And
to myself.
It is from Brother Seafeed to Ulfic, and it is written in such a vocabulary that it demonstrates that Ulfic may not have been quite an idiot. He obviously, in other words, if he could read this and understand it, it was quite flowery speech. But the gist of it was that there is a cult of Malachi. It's not called the cult, though. It's just called the Malachians. But basically, the cult of Malachi is trying to attack them. They have started up more attacks. The cult of Malachi is causing them big problems, and that Brother Seafeed feels that we need to start developing some way to deal with them, and that is going to be Ulfic's job.
Okay. I'm going to go over to the door and open it so that I can talk to Jarek. And I'm going to hand him the note to tell Lady Celine.
Jarek will take the note with the gloved hand, and say, "Close the door."
Yep, and I do just that.
Okay. While I'm still sorry, was there anything else on his body?
No, that was it. Tattoos. Lots of tattoos.
All right. Well, not when I'm done with them. So I'm going to bring his body to the front. I think I've made real headway with this, with the breaking of the bodies. So now I'm going to just quickly ask, what did the note say? Will you tell Pearson what the note says?
Oh, yeah, of course. Of course.
And Pearson nods and says that might be a good... if he asks where this man went, we can simply say he went to search after these Malachi people after we were done, after he was satisfied. It's a good cover. If it ever gets caught, then I can always confess that I killed him so I would take his place. It's a good backup plan. And Pearson says, don't worry, folks, we're almost done. And then I'll make my distraction, and then you can come our way. And
the mother very shakily says, "Can we go outside, please?"
No, not yet. We don't know who's watching you. I need to leave before you do, or our whole plan might be completely destroyed. Sorry, you'll have to endure this. I suggest you close your eyes and don't look at the center of the room when you leave. And after that, I'm going to just flay large chunks of his skin, probably around where his tattoos are, just make him unrecognizable. We won't get into the gory details. That's pretty much the gist of it. And then with that, Pearson's going to take the head, put it on top of his own, like a hat, or like holding on top of his own as a hat, start laughing madly, and run out the door. He's going to be going down the street screaming, "I am the new Lord of Death! I am the new Lord of Death!" And do that for a little while.
Jarek's going to hear those footsteps and just quickly fucking backpedal away.
You see, Pearson, as you run down the street, as you leave, you see Trip actually just flying up, and he looks extremely confused because all Trip sees is Pearson carrying the bloody head of some guy that looks like a barbarian, running down the street screaming he is the new Lord of Death. And Trip is carrying a small package with him, and he kind of lands on to Jarek's shoulder and says, "Did I miss something? Is that part of the plan?"
Jarek just fixes Trip with a baleful glower.
Okay then, Mika. Mika, of course, comes out, and Trip hands the package to Mika, which is a note that Trip says is for the mother and the son, and a wrapped finger, which looks about it's obviously a feminine finger. Looks about the right age. It's a ring finger. It's well kept. It would work, but it is a real. I was gonna say live, but a real finger. And then Trip says, Trip says that the guards will be here in about an hour or two. They have been instructed to act like the wife or the widow and the son were murdered. There will be arrangements for a funeral and everything of the like. And then Trip flies back to go back and sit with Lee's.
With a snarl, Jarek will use his staff to punch open the door and hiss, "Get all of them out of the charnel house."
Yep.
What?
Move it!
Move!
God, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
we will
come
take
on.
both of them. I will make sure that the blankets are over them
Let's say,
and
yeah,
covering
Finn
their
covers
faces
his,
as well.
the kid's head and just kind of leads him.
Yep.
I'll take the kid if you want to take the woman.
All right.
Whoa! Now I didn't know this was that kind of role play.
Hey, listen. This is not the time to joke.
This is serious goddamn business, Squee.
Yes, Squee.
I've seen some
God.
shit today. I am no
God,
mood.
I get to joke about anything I want.
How dare you? Get out.
Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and stay on this map. But yeah, you guys can lead them out and lead them to wherever Pearson told you to go. Mika also informs you that they will be well taken care of. That within a few days, the city guard will make contact with them and probably lead them to safety.
Jarek will hand the note unread to the woman
Okay.
upon arrival.
She numbly kind of holds on to it and says, "What is this?"
That is a letter from your lady. It is your lifeline.
And she nods. She's still kind of scared and doesn't really take the time to read it, but puts it in a pocket.
Terror strikes everyone. Be mindful of what you have gained and what it has cost others.
She looks around wide-eyed. You're not quite sure if she even understands what you meant, but she gives no
Keen's
sign
just-
one way or the other.
Keen's just standing there shaking his goddamn head.
Yay!
I'm gonna
Jarek-
give the ring to Jarek.
Jarek will marry the ring to the finger.
All right, let's go.